Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro on this beautiful hump day in Cali. What up? How you doing? We're going to be continuing our talk from last week. Self-love. Does it look like these 7 steps? We had a really fantastic talk, right? Like there was so much ground covered that we only got through 3 of the steps. Okay, we were yapping, but it was so good. I love when everybody comes in and they contribute to the conversation, because that's what stretches us together in our perspective, in what we think is possible that can come from the conversation, right? It's just so powerful. What up? Welcome to the conversation, everybody. Good morning. It's Morning Talks with Ro. I was in a long line trying to get my morning drink. Hey, Tiffany. What up, Ebony? How are you? Y'all got your morning drink on deck? What up? I see all these hearts in here. Hey, Troy. Good morning, darling. Good morning. I love it. I'll take it. So, hey, how many of you all caught last week's talk about self-love? Does it look like these 7 steps? We covered, let me see if I can, because I brought my notes back because we were yapping. We covered being mindful, right? Honoring yourself and what you really desire for your happiness, your peace of mind, and your personal power, right? Being mindful about that and how that equates to self-love. We talked about acting on what you need rather than what you want, which equates to discipline. Discipline equals self-love. Woo, we went in on that one. So delicious, the stuff that came out about that. And then we also talked about good self-care. Do you get dressed up for the universe? Do you wait for something or, some situation or some person have to show up and inspire you to just take better care of yourself, to present yourself better to the world? And if you didn't wait on someone else or something to inspire you to get up and dress up for the universe, so to speak, would that then change how you projected yourself to the world? How would you feel about how you showed up? And would you attract even greater experience dressed up and you're wearing? Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But that you're wearing this different energy and or vibration, right? Would you attract different things because of that? Powerful. Equals self-love. Hey, y'all. Hey, Tanya. Welcome to the conversation. Thank you, Tiffany, for the feedback about that. D. King says, hey, hollering from the Show Me State. What up? James is in the spot. Hey, everybody. So glad to have you here. So we're going to continue in our talk today for self-love. Does it look like these 7 steps? The 4th thing, now mind you guys, say a prayer for our conversation, because sometimes all the time, I have to trust that whatever is intended to come out comes out. I didn't even look at my notes today. I took these notes last week and I was like, I'm just gonna hop on here and make it happen. And a lot of the times I feel like that's some of the best talks, because it's so just be present and see what comes up and out. If you have anything that you feel would be of great value to add to the conversation, don't hesitate, because we all stretch and grow from it. So, number 4, setting boundaries. Ooh, that equates to a lot of self-love. Let me see what I said here. Setting boundaries with things that deplete you, harm you emotionally or spiritually, don't support you mentally. I must be having like interesting connection issues today. Forgive me, you guys. I may have to move, but I'm going to stay for a second. How many of you can relate to that you need to set better boundaries? Or do you even have any boundaries at all? Or has there been a time in your life where you didn't have boundaries, and you can share with us the effect that it had on your life, not having boundaries? Not having boundaries on what somebody could say to you or do to you physically. Not having boundaries on what somebody could say to you or do to you mentally or spiritually, and what that meant to your real happiness and your joy, what that meant to your personal power. Hey, Charles, welcome to the conversation. Hey, Nalaja, Curtis, what up? What does it mean when we don't set boundaries? People walk all over you, right? You could be at your job and not being underappreciated or overworked. D says it's best to set boundaries for yourself first before you can have them for anyone else. Church. Right? A lot of us don't have very good boundaries or clear boundaries, and then we get upset when someone treats us in a way that's outside of what we want for ourselves. Or we get upset when we're being overworked or taken advantage of because we haven't set clearer boundaries. This does equate to self-love, self-care, honoring yourself, right? Spiritually, not having boundaries. Look how that has affected people. Paying attention who's delivering the message. What does their life look like? Are they practicing what they preach? Are they practicing what they teach? What are their results looking like? Are you just taking things at face value? Are you looking a little bit deeper? Are you piercing the veil of the seeming reality that you're in so that you can see exactly what's happening with that person, with that situation, with that thing? That's another way to set boundaries. Like, wait a minute, you're not just going to be up in here just telling me whatever. Wait a minute. Let me look at your life. Let me look at your results. Let me look at your surroundings. What's happening here? Right? Hey, Naliji, that's what you fought. Tanya says, that's what I fought with, loving others more than myself all day. And then you end up giving more to others. You end up giving them the kind of support that you need for yourself. How many of you out there are giving other people support that you need? Right? Can you see me? I hope you can. I feel like I'm in the shadows right now. But how many of you out there are giving support to other people, giving the support that you would like for yourself to other people? And can you, in turn, give that to yourself? Do you need that for yourself? Do you do better protecting others than you do protecting yourself? Like, step up, speak up for them. Y'all ain't treating them right. Y'all not doing them right. Don't, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to you, and I want you to ask yourself the question, why? Honestly, ask yourself in this moment, why do you think you do that? And put it in the chat, because I see some people raising their hand. Let's keep it 100 so we can all stretch and grow together today and walk away from this thing feeling even more elevated and awesome than we walked in. David Martinez says, watching from Denver, Colorado. What up, David? Welcome to the conversation. James, yesterday my boss gave me a hard time because I was disappointed. He was disappointed with the job I did cleaning the maintenance closet and was a jerk. And I was so mad at him. I really wanted to put, okay, with the violence, James. And I was so mad. I really wanted to, and curse. Okay. Well, I guess you just wanted to vent, huh? But where do you want to set up some better boundaries then if you feel like you're being disrespected on that level, James? That comes back to you. It always comes back to us, you guys. It really does. If somebody is stepping outside of what we feel is respectful for us, where can we make some new choices that would have either remove ourselves from the situation, reduce our time with the situation, or confront the situation if that's necessary so that they can shift in behavior towards us? Oh, Tanya, I'm sending so much love your way. I'm giving you the biggest hug. Thank you for your transparency. A lot of us need to set boundaries. A lot of us don't have any. And then some of us think we do, but they're not clear enough. And so people be stepping all over them. They just smudging the line. Like, they don't care. They don't care. It is a very busy Wednesday morning for me, you guys. So forgive all the calls that are trying to come in. I thought I hit the do not disturb thing, and I guess I didn't. So forgive me for that. Hey, Shamika, welcome to the conversation. So a lot of us need to set boundaries, right? A lot of people can disrespect what you know what? We'll feel like, oh, they're so disrespectful. Oh, well, how could a person do that? But if they don't know what your boundaries are they really being disrespectful if they don't know? Because we all come from different walks of life. And we all, speak on what's relative to us, what's right and wrong to us, but it may not be right or wrong to the other person. So unless they understand who we are, or unless we're projecting a certain thing about ourselves that they are like, wait, I can't step over that boundary with that person because they lay out clearly. I can see clearly who they are. I can see clearly who they that they honor themselves. I can see clearly that they operate in integrity, so I'm not going to do that. How many of us aren't operating in integrity? Meaning doing what you mean, meaning what you say. Your yes means yes. Your no means no. Because if we're blurring the line on ourselves, then everybody else can blur the lines on us as well. Right? Like, how much are we keeping our word to ourselves? Oh, that takes me back to that quote that I like to share with you guys on a regular basis. How you do, there's a guy, T. Harv Eker, says how you do anything is how you do everything. If that quote just happens to be true, you don't have to believe it, but if it just happens to be true, if you're not keeping your word to yourself over here, you're probably not keeping your word to yourself over there. And that means you're not living in integrity with yourself. And so other people are going to do the same thing to you, possibly. Be a reflection of what you're not doing with yourself. Hey, Amanda. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro, you guys. You got your morning drink on deck. We're talking about self-love. Does it look like these 7 steps? So what can we do? Throw some stuff out there. There's a lot of you in this chat. Come on and pipe in. What do you have suggestions for people who don't have good boundaries? What are some of the things that you've done that have created good boundaries for yourself? You know, if you noticed that you didn't have good boundaries and then you put them in and you got some great results, please share them. D. King says, since I'm getting a touch for the field of fitness, folks want to tell me what they know from guessing versus what I know from hard work and training. Bless up. So what is that? How are you equating that to today's conversation about setting good boundaries? Share that with us. But it's so important. There are people who do not have boundaries with us spiritually, and we're going down a path that is maybe not even authentic. How do you feel? What do you need to do for you? What's the best path for you? People blurring lines and not getting boundaries on your mental state of being, your mindset, family members, friends, relationships, romantic relationships. Where do you need to draw the line? Where does your no need to mean no? Where does your yes need to mean yes? And do you need to start with yourself? Are you honoring yourself? And if you aren't, are you ready to clean that up today? What can you do today that is going to shift how you operate with yourself, which in turn is going to inspire other people to treat you differently? Or maybe you'll stop doing something that you've been doing because you know that it's not serving your highest good. Maybe you'll stop talking to that person that you think you got to accommodate. D. King says, I keep, sorry. Oh, I am in the shadow? Okay. Let me pull up a little bit and see if that gives you guys some better visibility. I don't know. Sorry. I can't see me either, y'all. It just got so sunny all of a sudden. And it's like beaming in, so it's creating a shadow. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it unless I move. But let me see. Let me see what you're saying. Okay. So you said, I keep the books around me and learn as I read. I set the boundary by telling them not to school me from word of mouth. Okay. Christine, okay. Kayla says, try a week of no. Ooh, saying no to things that drain you and things that, do just to please people. It works. I like that. Who wants to take the challenge of saying no this week? To everything that, if you get a twinge of something that says, I don't want to do that, will you just say no and honor it and see what that feels like? Will you do the uncomfortable? If you're normally someone who would always try to accommodate others, if something comes up this week where somebody asks something of you, or you are about to do something that you think you need to do or you should do, are you willing to say no? Put it in a hashtag, you guys. No. Boundaries. Either put hashtag boundaries or hashtag no if you're going to practice this week. And I want you guys to come back to this chat next week and tell me what happened. Wow. That's a great suggestion, Kayla. Just test it out. Let me see. Oh, I love that. My reception is real special, y'all. I hope I can... I hope I don't have to move. I might have to move. I'm about to turn up the air in here too. It's a little warm. Okay, let's see. Charles says, usually when you want to please everyone else around you, it allows people to take advantage of you because you are not showing that you value yourself. Speak. You're drawing the light to you. Bless up. Thank you, Tiffany. D King says, make no a part of the vernacular. I think I might move. It keeps saying us reconnecting and disconnecting. Okay, Delmar says, I honored myself by getting rid of negative people who weren't positive influence of my movement. Bless up. Amanda Rose says, no, boundaries. Bless up. Practice this, you guys. And what I want you to do, because you're going to get in the hamster wheel again. You know how we are. Once we get off the live, you go back to your everyday walk. You're going to probably forget that this talk even happened. Right now, while we're in this channel, I'm so sorry. It's such a busy morning, and I thought I turned off my phone. But what I want you guys to do is write it down on a Post-it. Write it down on several Post-its and put it everywhere that you know. If it's on your, where else would you need to see it? You know, on your desk next to your bed, in your office. I don't know where you can put this, you guys, but be sure to write this down and put it everywhere that you can see it. Everywhere that you're going to encounter some space in your life on a regular basis, so that you remember, I am practicing saying no. Hashtag no. Hashtag boundaries. Everywhere. And practice it, and come back to this chat next week, please, and tell me about your experiment. Bless up. Okay. Let me see what y'all are saying before we move forward. Yeah, I think it's a great topic too, right, Delmar? We're talking about self-love. Does it look like these 7 steps? Right now we're on number 4, setting boundaries. Let me see what I said for number 5. Protect yourself from negative people, information, or stimuli, energy vampires, time wasters. That is a way to give yourself some good self-love. Who in here is constantly surrounded by energy vampires, time wasters, gossipers? Are you one of them? Don't front. Are you one of them? Are you the person? Who's willing to reduce their time with them? Like, maybe it's a family member. You can't get rid of them. You don't want to get rid of them. You love them, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Do you need to reduce your time with that person or thing? Do you need to remove yourself completely if it's very toxic? Keep it real. Like, who are you entertaining, or what are you entertaining on a regular basis that is an energy drainer? And is that self-love? Are you honoring yourself by continuing to entertain that person or that thing or that behavior? Do you need to change that? Is it zapping your life of good energy? Is it zapping is it tainting your mindset? Is it making you cynical and hardening your heart? Do you need to protect yourself, or do you need to protect others from you? Depending on who's listening. This message may be reversed. Are you putting the toxic energy in the environment? Are you the person that's pointing the finger at everybody else and nobody else can tell you that, you know, whatever? Are you not willing to see yourself for what you're contributing to your environment that you may say you don't like? What are you willing to do different today that will either protect yourself from energy vampires, or just energy drainers, or time wasters, or negative people, negative stimuli? Or what are you willing to do to change that behavior in yourself if you are that person or that thing? Real question. Because that's what it comes down to, is we got to make the choice, right? A lot of us say we don't want something, we don't like something, we can complain about it real good, but where are you making a real concrete choice to create the change you'd like to see? Where are you contributing to the solution as opposed to just complaining about the problem? Where are you being proactive in setting up better boundaries? Hello, right? Number 4, setting up better boundaries so that you can function better in your environment. And if that means you've got to say no, right? We just said saying no, creating better boundaries to the people, negative stimuli. Stop watching a whole bunch of garbage that's affecting your ability to be empowered, optimistic, loving, driven, significant, a greater contributor to life. Kayla says, I'm working on not holding a grudge with coworkers. Bless up. Because guess what? It's really probably eating you. I told y'all about that time that I went to that naturopathic doctor. And I was detoxing, right? And they took a drop of blood every time just to see what was going on and see how the herbs were moving through my blood and my body. And she says, what did you do today? And I told her that, you know, blah, 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 blah for the morning moves and whatever. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And I had an argument with my boyfriend. And she's like, come look at your argument. And I literally saw these little brown looking explosions in my blood. She said, that's your adrenals firing off. And that's when I realized when they say stress kills, it was real. These negative emotions really do reduce themselves into your body. You can see them. So if you're holding on to some negative stuff, we don't even know what toll that can take on us over time. That's why it's important to really forgive and let stuff go. Because just aside from wanting your heart to be lighter, aside from wanting you to not be holding on to stuff so that you're not cynical, it really can affect your physical body. Wow. Ain't that deep? Like, that's super deep to me. Let me see if I can scoot up where this truck that's just left and see if I can get less of a shadow over here. I don't know. Might not improve, you guys. Isn't that deep, y'all? So that's with any emotion. We don't know what sadness looks like over time in the body. I didn't see sadness. I saw anger. We don't know what guilt and shame can look like over time. But if we don't face that stuff, what does it do to break? Does it break down the body? Is it breaking down certain aspects of yourself that you're not even aware of? That's affecting your ability to really thrive. And if you feel like that's something that you're dealing with, you can come and see me and do one-on-one sessions with me. Coaching. Go to RhonaBennett.com and book some time, or wait for Personal Power University to flip back around. And join us in April, for real. Because we're responsible for kissing our boo-boos. We wait for somebody else to do it, or we wait for something else to come around and help us to release some stuff. You might be waiting. Might as well get comfortable. Because there is no guarantee that somebody is going to come and help you kiss those boo-boos. We got to do it. Because it's affecting us. It's breaking our bodies down. They ain't breaking their body down. You said guilt and shame come from prideful minds when people have to humble themselves. I don't necessarily agree with that, D. King. That may be one aspect of it. Guilt and shame can be from people who've made decisions that they're ashamed of. And you want to get past it. Guilt can come from maybe doing something that you felt you didn't want to do, or that you did and you regret that you wish you did. Guilt can come from so many different angles. Shame can come from so many different angles. It could come from your family, where you come from. You can't do nothing about it, but you just got some kind of something on you about whatever you experienced in your childhood, whatever you experienced in your adulthood, whatever relationship you held on to for too long, whatever you didn't do for your child. It comes from so many places. So we got to deal with that. We want to face that if we really want to get free, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. Sometimes it's necessary to face that stuff so that it doesn't just break us down on a mental level or a spiritual level. It could be breaking you down on a physical level. I saw it. I didn't see those emotions, but I saw an argument and I was like, that was enough for me. That was enough for me. So yes, that could be one form, but it's only one form. It doesn't necessarily have to come from, pride or needing to humble yourself. You could already actually be humbled in your shame, right? You could box yourself in to your shame. You could box yourself in to your guilt. You got to face it. We got to get new perspective on it. We got to give it new meaning. That's where your freedom comes from. New meaning, new perspective. If you need help with that, anybody in here, come see me. Let's see what we can do to work on that. So we can get you some emotional freedom, some spiritual freedom. Let's see what you guys are saying. Stress lead to heart attacks. Yes. Real talk, Miss Rhona. Is that all? Bless up, Christine. Let's see. All right. Wow. Well, that took a little turn, didn't it? Bless up to number 5. Is that number 5? Protect yourself from negative energies, negative people, negative stimuli, energy drainers, time wasters, energy vampires. That's a great way to give yourself some self-love. Let's see what else we got. Well, this flows beautifully. Forgive yourself. Oh. Who needs to forgive themselves? That's right. Come on, Tiffany, speak. We got to fix. Sometimes we are the ones that have to kiss our boo-boos as much as we wanted it from our parents, as much as we wanted it from that person that we felt slighted by or wronged by. They may never come back. They may be dead. There's a lot of people that got beef with somebody who's gone, passed. How do you deal with that? Right? So we may be we're the ones responsible for kissing our boo-boos. And you know what? I like that. Because now you don't have to wait for anybody or anything outside of yourself to give you inner freedom. It comes from a refreshed perspective, a renewing of the mind, right? And it being able to reprogram and condition ourselves to give it new meaning. Is it hard? Heck yeah, it can be hard. Because you really gotta find another space, sometimes it even goes into our belief patterns that we have to go and rework. We got to go rework our blueprints in order to get over something. But the beauty of it is that's a possibility, that it can be done. Is it going to take some work? Heck yeah. Ain't nobody blowing smoke up your tail. But would I get on the road to recovery if that was my life? Heck yeah, I have. And you got to keep going at it constantly and keep refining and keep retuning and keep revisiting and keep revisioning and keep. But it can be done. And then you'll be out here with your testimony, blessing somebody else who's trying to get free. Whew. Oh my goodness. Good talk, good talk. Okay, let's see. Kayla says, I've always been a positive person, but I feel like the grudge comes from me trusting her and being punched in the head. Well, there it is. Take the expectations off, right? That's what kicks a lot of our tails. We got expectations of people, and when they don't live up to our expectations, we just toe up. It happens, right? You want to be able to expect things. That just happened to me the other day. I'm keeping it 100. That just happened to me the other day. There was a display that I've been a almost like a social activist about something for some time now, and to see someone else step up in a way that I did not anticipate really broke my heart. It's like, dang, that hurt. That stung a little bit. That stung a lot, actually. And then I had to rework my perspective around it, because I'm like, that's me putting somebody in a box of expectations. Take them out. It is what it is. People make choices. What choices am I making? Those are the only choices I really got control over. And if I choose to neutralize about everything, which I can choose to do, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Only the meaning I give it. Only the meaning I allow it to have to me. And that's a very powerful place that we all have the opportunity to be in. But do we take advantage of that space of being able to choose? Right? Okay. Ryan says, I have to forgive myself for saying that I hate my dad. Even though I didn't mean it, I said it out of anger, and I know that I've hurt his feelings. So have you gone back to atone with your father, Ryan? Have you gone back and told him exactly what you just said in this chat? You know what? I didn't mean that. I said that. Have you gone back and owned that with your father? Have you atoned? Trey says, how's everyone? That's the expectations are high. D. King says, I remember my grandmother telling me I would get my GED on the first try. I was nervous as hell about it. Her last words before she passed, I never got the chance to tell her that's a piece of, of regret I live with. Regrets can eat us. So you never did get your GED, D? Is that what you're saying? And you feel like you failed her? Or what exactly are you saying right there? Forgive me. Excuse me. Ooh. What's the most powerful thing you guys have pulled from today's conversation so far? I want to hear some of the feedback. Some good stuff in here. And does anybody else need to forgive themselves? Think about that. And think about it with respect to the story that I shared earlier about, detoxing and seeing that she could see my argument that I had that morning. And it proving to me that our emotions can show up in the body, the physical body. And if that's the case, what emotions have you been harboring? Have you been keeping? Have you been carrying around that you think it's not very harmful, but quite possibly could be harmful? You think that you're just holding a grudge on somebody else or not forgiving somebody else. And sometimes, I'm not saying that you got to feel all lovey-dovey with somebody. I'm just saying maybe you need to neutralize an emotion more. If it's very heavy and strong, maybe what do you need to do to neutralize that emotion so that it's not taking a toll on your mental self, your spiritual self, and your physical self? Okay, let's see. All right, Tiffany says, take them out of the box of expectations. Bless up. Come on, Echo. Second, I'm not sure what that means. Ryan says, millions of times I feel like he doesn't care or love me. Okay. So you guys have a relationship fissure, seems. You might have a relationship issue. There's some underlying stuff that hasn't been dealt with. It sounds like, just from what you're saying. So it's bigger than that, and that's where your lashing out came from. Have you guys thought about going to some type of therapy or counseling or getting a third party that you trust and that you respect to be able to come in and unpack your stuff together so that you can renew your relationship? That could be huge. Maybe that's a suggestion. To find somebody together, or at least find someone that you think is good, and see if it's okay with your dad, and go and unpack your stuff because you want to improve your relationship. Tell them. Our authenticity and honesty can really help us to improve a lot of things. Just going to somebody and saying, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I'd like to do to improve our relationship. Would you like to do it with me? You never know what could happen. Forgive yourself. That was number 6. Number 7, live intentionally. Be purposeful. Design your life this way. That's another way that you for self-love. To live intentionally. We've talked about this in the past where, I gave you the example of the 3 words. Remember? If you were to choose 3 words that you wanted to kind of just be like the overarch of your life, like what 3 words would drive you to operate from the best of yourself? And I believe I shared with you the words compassion, excellence, and endurance. Those 3 words drive me. And if I were to tap into those 3 words before I did the next thing or I said the next thing, what would I say or do? And then you can use these 3 words and you can compartmentalize them in different parts of your life. So for example, when you talk to your father, Ryan, you may say, what 3 words do I want to drive my behavior in this conversation? so that I can check in with those and I can be intentional about what I'd like to share, how I'd like to share, how I'd like to express myself. You may say forgiveness, understanding, and compassion. Now, if you checked in with those 3 words first, and then you went in, you spoke from those intentions, you spoke from that inspiration, the next action you took was inspired by those 3 words, what would you do? What would you say? How would you say it if forgiveness and compassion and understanding were driving your behavior? You can do this with coworkers. You can do this with a conversation with a boss. You can do this with anything. Choose 3 words before you walk into a situation so that they can be your drivers for your behavior and what you say. And then see what happens. How powerful is that, to live intentionally, to not just happen upon something, to not just wait and see what something comes out, to not just hope that come in intentionful. This is what I intend. Even if you don't have the results that you'd like to see, you say, I'd like to at least approach it this way. I'd like to at least speak from this aspect of myself. I'd like to at least let these 3 words drive whatever I say or do. And then see what happens. Live intentionful. And can you see that if you live with intention, if you have specific intent, how that can design your life? Because now you're not just haphazardly doing anything, or just haphazardly saying anything, or just hoping that things fall into place. No, you have intentions. You intend for something to happen. You intend for this to deliver in this way. You intend to be this way. And that can change your results. Right? Okay, let's see. Oh, she passed the night you walked across the stage. Why do you feel guilt about that? If she knew that you were getting ready to walk across the stage, that's a beautiful thing. She knew it. Now, maybe she wasn't able to attend. I could see feeling sad about that, but why carry guilt about that? I feel like that's actually a beautiful thing, unless I'm missing something. At least she knew that you followed through. Tiffany says, yes, intentional and deliberate. We are deliberately creating our lives when we live with intention. I never got the chance to say I did it in one try. That's okay. I mean, I'll make it okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I got all kinds of good calls coming in this morning. Forgive me. So I think we've had a really wonderful connection today. Some good stuff that came out. We just completed the 7 steps. Woohoo! Yay, we made it! It's really, really good stuff between this video and the last video. If you want to know some tips, some strategies on how to be better about self-love, how to incorporate it in your life. I hope you guys have gained tremendous value from these talks. Great advice as always. Bless up. I'm glad you got value from it. I think today was really, really powerful. It's good. I think I might go back and watch it myself. Hey, Christina. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your transparency. And I will see you guys next week for Morning Talks with Ro. Until then, bye.